one podcast, mining the Magic the Gathering community for salt. This is the Howling Salt Mine.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Howling Salt Mine podcast, the podcast where we delve into those salty mines of the Magic the Gathering community. We find the saltiest stories, the saltiest posts, we put them in our mine cart, and we bring them right back up to you, our dear prospectors at home. As always, I'm your host, Sam, and I'm joined today by my two co-hosts, Mike and Tony. He's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know. What up?
Oh, there it is. He said the line.
He remembered the bit.
He did it. He said the line. Welcome back, Tony.
How's married life treating you?
Yeah. My life is completely different. Everything's changed.
Wow.
I'll never be the same.
Wow.
How many Borat jokes have you made? How many times have you said my wife?
A lot.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever said it normally.
Nice.
The real question is how many times have I normally said my wife? And it's zero. It's actually zero. To be honest, I'm not sure if Stephanie knows that or not.
Knows Borat?
Yeah, because
that makes it better.
it literally does, because she started saying my husband in a similar way.
I love that.
And I was like, I don't know if you get it or if you're memeing me right now, but I like not knowing because I feel like you don't know.
I fucking love
my
that,
God. Dude. Yeah, it's fucking great.
It's amazing.
I will say I fucking hate wearing a ring.
Really?
Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
It's like driving me nuts. Like I'm a very fidgety person.
You
I
don't
also
say.
got like a pretty chunky boy.
You did get a pretty chunky
Yeah, you
boy.
got a chunky
It's
one.
like
There's just
thick.
like diamonds popping off of it.
Yeah,
I think there's some
Yeah.
emeralds on there too.
You have
Oh,
some
for
like
sure.
truck nuts on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
obviously, it's just actually a giant bolt.
Yeah.
like
It's
Ratchet
dragging
and
along
Clank
the
style.
ground right now. You can't even lift up your hand.
I can't lift my hand. It's so fucking heavy.
You took like ball and chain really, really seriously.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna commit to this like kind of annoying, gross term that people use for their spouse and put it on my finger for my life.
I have gotten kind of better at taking it off though, which like at first when I got it, I was like, oh my God, I hate this concept that I like can't get this thing off of my finger because I feel like I'll get fat again and like I won't be able to take it off and like that I'll like the world will be bad. For some reason, it feels almost like claustrophobic to me,
Interesting.
which I did not expect to feel at all. But it's like cool. I feel like it's a vibe. When I have this ring on with like my watch that she got me as well, and because I got fun fact for folks, I got a super cheap ring because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like
that's
look
what
at
you
this
do,
thing
man.
that I can get that's like super fucking cheap and looks the same as this like super expensive one.
Oh, yeah.
And if I lose it, I A, don't have to care, and B, I can just change it whenever I want, which feels like a cool concept because
Exactly.
True.
Yeah.
I like change.
That's
in
like
some
that's
ways.
really symbolic of marriage too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Anyways,
No,
we
my
got a
wife.
nice
It's not
watch. My wife.
No, I feel you, man. My ring was mad cheap too. Mine was like a tenth of the price of my wife's ring.
Yeah. Mine
was just like
more
folded
than
Damascus
that.
steel, and I was like, that's cool. Like folded
Yeah.
steel, isn't that what katanas are? Fuck yeah, I'll punch someone and slice them
Hell
up like
yeah.
a cool katana, man. That sounds great.
Have you
Hell
seen
yeah.
that clip of the like it's from some tank and airplane fighting game and it's just like a Japanese zero cuts through like an American plane, like the wing just cuts through something.
That's amazing.
Everyone's like glorious Nippon steel.
I love that.
I think about it basically every time.
Dude, I've become a man of many rings. I got my wedding ring. I have a silver Green Lantern ring that my sister bought me.
That you've had since I've known you. I've
Yeah.
never seen you not wearing that ring.
Well, I'm not wearing it right now, so
Whoa.
Whoa. Are you okay?
Fuck.
Yeah, you
Everything
know,
all right?
I was washing the dishes, you know, like, so what I was going to say,
You take them off to wash the dishes.
and then I have this other ring. I have a gold ring that my dad gave me that his dad had and his grandfather had. So it's been in our family for like a wicked fucking long time. So I used to just be like a 2-ring guy. Before that, I was a 1-ring guy. It was Green Lantern ring.
One
Then
ring
it
to
was
rule
like,
them all.
okay, I'm married now, 2 rings, 1 on each hand. And now that I have the 2, it's like, okay, I got to put 2 on one hand, 1 on the other. The gold ring is like a little gold is soft, so I don't want it to get scratched up. So lately I found that I've been taking them off a whole lot more just because I don't want to like fuck them up. Like when I like lift weights, I don't want to scratch them up. When I do yard shit, I want to take them off.
Nice flex,
When
dude.
you're getting swole.
Yeah. You know, when I'm like,
When's the last weight
I've
you
barely
picked
been
up?
wearing my rings out all these days because I always have to take them off when I work out.
yeah, when I'm fighting, you know, when I'm fighting hand to hand, I got to take them. And also, like, whenever I flex my muscles, I'm worried I'll burst the rings from the strength of my
Mhm.
grip. So
Mhm.
I take them off then too, you know. But yeah, you know, it's a thing. Sometimes you gotta take them off, man.
Yeah.
Also, I watched this video where a guy didn't take his off and then he had to get it cut off and it was like all gross under there. It was bad.
Ew.
It was not good.
I don't like
want to
that.
do
That sounds really unappealing.
Yeah. Like some people, it literally does like grow into their hand.
Yeah. Well, I am like paranoid that that'll happen to me. So like, I feel
probably
like
will.
I'm constantly touching it and
No.
like.
It probably will, Tony.
You're fine, Tony.
Well, welcome everybody to episode 69.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, nice. This is going to be a particularly nice episode.
Oh, like that.
We don't really have any gimmicks planned other than just saying nice a lot.
Nice.
But Tony insisted that he be a part of this episode, as everyone knows. So we did episode 70 last week. And this week we're doing episode 69.
Nice.
Because let's be fucking honest, of the 3 of us, the one that needs to be on this episode is me, not you two. So like,
Whoa, okay,
Wow.
okay, Mr.
Okay.
Married Man. Think you're
All right.
better than us? Think you're better than
Well,
us?
didn't we talk about who said it? I think Mike said that we were going to 69 on him for this episode.
Mike
Yeah.
definitely didn't
That's
say
episode 169, Tony.
that. Mike definitely did not say that. And
You're
I don't
right.
think he would ever say a joke like that.
No, look
Check the
back in
tapes.
look back in the tapes.
It was me. I
think-
said it.
Oh,
And now it is time. Mike, could you lay down, please?
Oh, no.
yeah, down on the
I
ground.
still have 100
right
episodes
now.
until that.
Tony, could you take your wedding ring off? It's kind of like scratching me.
Oh my God.
Harshing your mellow.
It's scratching my leg.
Yeah, but you kind of like it, so it's fine. It's got texture, baby.
Mike, stop moving around. Oh, man.
worst.
Yeah, this is the worst. This is terrible. Let's get out of this bit post haste.
Nice. All right, on we go.
Well, guys, oh, shit. You know what we're doing in a couple weeks?
We are going
Yeah.
to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. The
We're
Salt
going
Palace,
to the
baby.
MTG
But
Summit.
what's salt?
The Salt
Oh.
Palace, baby. No, Tony, not yet. Not yet.
No, I know it wasn't
It's
yet.
been a
but
few
I-
weeks.
Missed
It's
his
been a few
cue.
weeks.
Wow, embarrassing.
Not yet. Not yet. Also, Pat says that now.
Let the record show that like fucking Mike was here for when I said it, and Sam was like, "Nah."
No, because we have to plug. We have to.
No, I understand. It was a joke. You didn't even get the joke.
We're just out of sync. It's been too long, you know. I miss you. So yeah, we're going to the MTG Summit in Salt Lake City. It's happening from October 26th through 29th. Tickets are still ready and out there. They are available. Fucking get it, guys. Come hang with us.
Hell yeah.
I think we can reveal that we will have new custom salty treasure tokens that we're going to be giving out to people.
Hell yeah.
We had our tokens that we did last year for Vegas. We gave some away to some of our patrons. We've been giving them away to people that we hang out and play with in real life if we bump into people at cons and shit like that. But now, new chapter. It's a new podcast. It's been an entire calendar year, fucking 50 episodes between the con last year and this year. We've got new tokens, guys,
Wow.
and it has our fresh art on the back. And they
Fresh,
are
baby.
also
Fresh as
fresh.
fuck.
Fresh as fuck. But yeah, it's going to be a great time. I'm super stoked.
We are featured content creators.
We are special guests. It's going to be a really good time. We will be there from Thursday through Sunday. If you have a VIP badge, you get access to like the room that all the creators are going to be hanging out in. You get access to the Creator Clash, which is an event that we're going to be playing in. Everybody gets a pre-con and you just get to jam games with a bunch of different creators. Kyle Hill is going to be there. Cassius Marsh is going to be there. Brian Kibler is going to be there. Olivia is going to be there.
Fucking Howlin' Salt Mine's gonna be there.
Oh shit! Tony's gonna be there. Mike's gonna be there. Nick's gonna be there.
Hey.
It's gonna be a really good time. If you guys want to like play against some of our decks or jam, I think it's gonna be super fun. And we'll try to do like a little Howling Salt Mine meetup one of those days too. Maybe just find us and circle up on Sunday morning, and we'll just jam Commander games all Sunday. I don't really know what our creator schedule is yet, so hopefully that works.
Yeah, whatever it is, we're playing games.
Yeah, whatever it is, we're jamming games literally all weekend. We're all going to bring our like favorite signature decks. And so, if you want to see Tony's like Grenzo deck in action or one of his other horribly tilting decks, you totally can.
But don't worry, it'll just be jank. You should just play your jank against it. It'll be good.
It's just jank.
Dude, the Janksbank Warden is fucking jank at this
point.
Get
out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh my God.
I need to tune him up so that like he's actually
he's
like
fine.
Good.
He's totally fine. I don't
if
think
you
he
tune
needs
him
any help.
anymore, he's gonna end up being a CEDH deck.
Yeah. Yep.
There is a CDH Grenzo.
There
build.
is. We've played.
I know we played against it on Play to Win, man.
Oh, nice. Did it crush you?
No, it actually didn't do
No,
shit.
it didn't. Of all of the decks, that one somehow didn't.
Yeah, Cam absolutely crushed us in those games. Anyways, that's old news. We're over it, frankly.
It's so old. So long ago. I don't think we confessed how terribly we played in it, though.
I will say, with those play to win games, sometimes you play CDH and it's just an absolute blowout. In both of those games, I don't really think there's anything we could have done differently to make an impact. Like turn one Blood Moon against a 4-color and a 5-color deck, we just got totally blown out.
We got smashed.
And you even dropped some like decent dorks to get some advantage through there and color fix and stuff. And even that, it didn't really help. Cam just ran away with that, hit his combo immediately off Ilharg, and just like crushed us. Game 2 was just as bad, man. He just spun up into that sweet value with that Minsk and Boo deck. Just was drawing so many fucking cards. I think there are a couple moments where we could have like table talked more, which Dylan talked about in his like analysis of the games. But for the most part, we were just absolutely outclassed from like turn 1 or 2 with those games. Cam also was first in rotation, I think, both games. I think he had like chair 1.
That doesn't have any impact in CDH games, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely irrelevant.
It's so true.
How about
should we get into it, guys?
How about a little salty story, maybe?
All right. Let's get off of Mike and let's
get into the mine.
Off of Mike and into the mine.
I like it. What are we going to talk about, though?
We're going to talk about some salt, Tony. We got some salt.
But wait.
Ooh.
I was going to say, what's salt? That was so good. That sounded like a
Ooh.
What a
Home Improvement?
What is that?
Ooh.
No,
It's the
maybe
it's the ghosts in the mines in Stardew Valley.
Oh, maybe
Is it?
There is one that does
Ooh.
something like that.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, it's giving me like PTSD. That shit, those like fucked you up. Anyway, what salt, Sam?
Thank you, Tony. Tony, I've been waiting weeks to hear you say that.
How much of a backlog do we have though? Like
That's the thing. Like we're good at backlogging episodes. So again, time is an illusion. To us, Tony has been away for like what feels like a month, basically.
Well, because it was like 2 weeks for the honeymoon, and then we didn't record the week of the wedding.
Yeah. It has been like a month since we recorded.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm happy to hear that question, Tony. Salt is frustrations in the game, as we like to say. And as I've been saying in recent episodes, it's an umbrella term, really. That's kind of how we view it on the salt mine here. Salt can be somebody raging, somebody smashing cards on the table, somebody shaking up a Coke, dropping Mentos in it, and blasting all their opponents in the face with it because they're so salty. Salt can also be the little grains, the singular grains, the tiny little McDonald's salt packet where it's like 2 weird little hard tubes of salt and you have to like pop the top over, where it's just someone getting a little frustrated. Your commander gets countered a few times in a row. Maybe a stacks piece comes down that you weren't expecting. You just kind of get knocked out of the game. Or maybe someone is playing a mill deck and someone else is on a graveyard deck and they're just enabling each other. And, you're like, I'm not really effective here.
Or maybe one person's on a deck that tries to flip into even costed creatures with clone effects so that it can continue the chain of flipping into even costed creatures with clone effects. And another player is playing a deck that's composed of a majority of even cost creatures with clone effects.
Yeah. Yep.
I've been playing against Gerudo a lot, people, and it's not fun.
Yeah, Mike has been playing against my Garuda deck a lot. And I think the thing that makes it unfun is that Nick is either playing this like kind of cloney deck that has a ton of clones in it, or he's playing Bruvac, and both of those are dynamite for fucking Garuda to play into. Sorry,
not sorry.
So yeah, Salt covers everything from the full shakers to the small grains. And we talk about it so that we can understand Salt, understand where we come from with our own saltiness, with the hope of being not salty in a future game.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Well said.
It's an educational show.
That's, I learn something every episode. Thanks for telling me about that.
Hey, no problem.
I was just kind of saying words and hoping it was relevant to Salt this whole time.
That's kind of what we do every week.
Like today, I mostly learned how to 169.
Sometimes you just got to learn by doing it.
Yeah.
So
nice.
tell me about the story.
Yeah, you guys want to get into it?
I do.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. This first one comes to us from one of our patrons. We have a Patreon post here. And this post comes to us from our friend Milkman Dan.
Milkman Dan.
Milkman Dan.
What's up, Milkman Dan? Deliver that sweet, sweet, delicious milk to us every week, Dan.
Yeah, deliver that milk. Just give me that. Give me your milk.
I'm dying. I have a Milkman, and it's great.
Do
It's
you?
the fucking best. Yeah, I got a Milkman.
I feel like as a child, as a wee young lad, there was a point where we got milk from a milkman a couple times. Not like a lot, but I feel like this happened in my life. That could be a fucking lie, but I feel like it had happened.
I think I had a Milkman when I was very, very young as well, because I remember like the glass bottles.
Yeah. Well, that's why. That's what I feel like I remember. But Mike's like fucking 2, so like he
I've
doesn't
always
remember that
only
shit.
drink milk from plastic or cardboard, so I am
Yeah.
not
You're just missing out, baby.
Just soaking your magic
guys-
cards in milk and slurping it off the edge.
I did have two friends that lived on the same street as each other, and one would get milk from a milkman, and the other friend his family would get powdered milk
Ooh.
and mix it into water.
No.
And
Ugh.
I
I
distinctly
think I just
remember
vomited in my mouth.
Yeah, that's terrible, dude.
I remember my friend that would get real milk would get really mad because his friends would come over and drink all of his real milk. He'd be like, "What the hell, guys? Like, this was mine."
I don't drink milk on its own.
No.
Like the milk we get is for coffee and maybe occasional cereal, but like almost exclusively milk is like a coffee supplement. I can't tell you the last time I had like a big ass glass of milk.
I used to drink like a lot of milk.
I know that was the joke in college, man.
Like,
Was that because
yeah.
Tony didn't drink beer or any alcohol, and the joke would be that he had a big glass of milk.
I actually directed a show once, and they bought me a gallon of milk, and like as the gift at the end, like that was the gift I got.
So good, dude. That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious. There was definitely a period of my life where I thought it was funny to use milk drinker as an insult.
Oh, yeah, Skyrim, baby.
That lined up.
Milk drinker. I love Skyrim. You got it. Those Khajiit. You got to put them in their place, you know?
Oh, that was it.
Anyway, the milkman brought us a story. Should we fucking read it?
Yeah, Milkman Dan. Also, everybody, it's episode 69. Some of the stray grains are staying in. Except for that one I had earlier. That one's not. You got to fucking subscribe for that one. That one was wild, but all the rest are staying in.
Sam's ploy to get more patrons. Just like, man, that fucking sick stray grain earlier in the app.
So jokes on them. We didn't even record one.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if it was sick, but I did get really salty and mad.
Or did he?
So this one comes to us from Milkman Dan, and the post is titled Serialized Elish Nornussi.
That's
Nice.
serialized because it's a milkman.
Oh, dude, Mike, you get a raise.
It's actually in my contract that he can't get a raise.
We changed that while you were on your honeymoon.
How awkward.
Yeah.
We outvoted you.
We actually made a lot of changes. Currently, we're using an AI program to make you sound like Pat.
Fuck you.
And Pat gets royalties on all the episodes. But it's in the contract. I don't make the rules.
For the 5th time, what does Milkman Dan say?
I already said the serialized Elish Nornussi thing. Elish Nornussi, that is a real that's for the real HSM heads out there. You know, that's the
true 30%.
Yeah, the true 30% really knows that reference. You know, we're licking our teeth. It's fucking Morbin time. Let's get
it's Morbin time.
Lick your teeth, everybody, because this one's a waifu. And the story from Milkman Dan goes, strap in, bitches. I got a good one. All right, Milkman Dan. I've been playing Magic with a great friend group for years now. There are 3 of us at the core of our group who always play together. Our 4th player usually just depends on who we felt like inviting at the time. We all play at equal levels, spend equal amounts of money on our decks, and have a pretty equal amount of experience. Wow, look at them go. Now, I've been known to play the fuck around and find out gambling game that comes with purchasing sealed product. I've never been one to pull those high dollar chase cards, but today's story isn't about me. It's about the dirty, lucky bitch boy I play with.
Oh my God.
My 2 friends, we'll call them Friend 1 and Dick, recently went out to our LGS to purchase collector packs of March of the Machines. It was Friend 1's birthday, so Dick was being nice and paying for Friend 1's pack. There were exactly 2 packs left in the box. Dick says, it's your birthday, you pick first. Friend 1 says, no, go ahead. Dick says, okay, picks a pack and pays for them. Moments later, Dick rips into his pack first and pulls a serialized Elish Norn. The audacity of this man. He excitedly tells the birthday boy about his bullshit lucky ass pull. Friend 1 tells me later that he didn't even want to open his pack anymore. I also got my collector box in the mail that day and thought, no chance do I pull a serialized card now. And I did not. Dick is notorious for having dumb luck when opening packs and so damn annoying. I remember crossing my fingers that he would whiff every time he opened packs. I'm salty as hell, and I wasn't even there. Nor was I the birthday boy who had to live his whole life knowing that he probably could have a serialized Nornussi in his wallet right now. How salty would you guys be, or would you be genuinely happy for one another?
I've seen Lord of the Rings. I know how this often plays out.
Yeah. Man, that scene where Bilbo like reaches towards the ring always fucking scares me. Even as an adult, like he makes that face and you're like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, it is the nature of the game with ripping packs. Like it's gonna happen. I feel like everyone's got their story of their friend that had the insane luck.
Yeah.
Seems like Dick did everything they could to try and give the other player the first pick there, you know?
Yeah. This is one is like, it's like you're being salty at fate. You know, you're being salty at luck itself.
Yeah.
Like Dick didn't do anything wrong.
In fact, he got you some packs for your birthday.
Yeah, he bought some
kind.
He bought Friend 1 some packs. Like, that's kind. That's a good thing to do.
Like for these exact reasons, I don't share boxes. I feel like when I first moved in with Mike, he got me into buying boxes for sure because that was not something I did before.
Whoops,
Michael. But
oopsie,
I love it. That's the problem. But we kept buying boxes together and we would split it. And like at the time, you know, if one of us hit like a $10 card, we'd be like, "Oh fuck!" Like,
yeah.
You know? But it's just like it started to hurt. I was like, "Oh, well, Mike got that one, but Tony didn't get it." So like there's only one in the box, like, and so it just quickly devolved to a point where we're like, should we just get 2 boxes? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I feel that too. I think we've talked about it before, but my rule is you just don't split boxes because somebody is going to open something fire and you aren't gonna. And I think that's a very similar vibe when there's 2 packs left in a box at an LGS. Like if there's 10 more packs in that box and you buy 2, there's some like plausible deniability that like, luck of the draw. There's some other shit there. But when it's so clearly a coin flip that you could have gotten something amazing, or you just got like absolute nonsense in your pack, like that, man, it just feels so bad.
Yeah, 100%.
I will say I do get genuinely hyped for my friends when they pull dope shit out of packs, though. I just like, I don't really get salty about that. Granted, I don't split packs, but if like we all bought packs from the same box and one of you pulled something fire, I'd be pretty stoked for it. Yeah. I mean, that's happened before. Like you got your serialized Soul Ring, Tony.
You know.
Only a PSA 8 though.
Yeah, why don't you fuck yourself? I do think there's something about like when you're in the same room together though, that like I'm never like mad or like not happy for you guys, but I won't say that I'm not sad that like I didn't pull something cool, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've been in a room when we've all cracked like mystery booster boxes, like,
oh yeah,
and like somebody gets like a mana crypt or something gets that, and you're just like, I'm happy for you, but I am sad at the same time. Like I'm feeling both emotions. It's not just one. It's not just pure happiness for you that you ripped one. It's like it's the jealousy, I suppose. It's a jealous salt.
Yeah.
Mike and I had this kind of recently with some boxes of One Piece. I can tell like a stony expression goes over Mike's face.
Yeah. I knew it was going there. So One Piece also has a thing where there's a fixed amount of like secret rares, and like basically like there's going to be a mythic and there's going to be like one of the other alt arts or something. So we were like, okay, well, we won't split. We'll both get our own.
Yeah,
and
never split a One Piece TCG box.
Yes.
If people are getting into it, never split a box ever.
Yeah. And we had been talking about like decks we were interested in, and I had one and I was like, I'm pretty interested in this one. And of course, Sam opens the alt art version of this super rare card, and I was like, just crushed, just completely crushed.
And I wasn't even going to play those colors. And the thing
and
is
you're
that,
still
like,
not. You're still not playing that card.
And the thing is that like I opened it really early, and we were like, oh shit. And I was like, well, dude, just open your packs, and like you might get something to trade in. And you just did
not get something to trade in.
You just didn't. And now that card is like $75 or like $80 or something. Like just keep going up. It's
paid for the box if you were to sell it, which you won't. So
I 100% will if I can. I don't need it. Do you want to buy it?
No.
All right.
You made your bed. You can lie in it.
You can try to punish me, but it's not working. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I think that's just something that happens when you play the game, when you play the game of ripping packs, someone is bound to rip a better pack than you. Just sort of how it goes.
On the flip side, congrats on the serialized Elish Norn.
Yeah. Get it, Dick. Get it.
You fucking get it.
That.
Get that Nornussy.
It's Morbin time.
Dude, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Like, I know, right? Somebody said when I was hanging out with my friends last weekend, one of them said it's Morbin time, and I was just cracking up. I was like, I haven't heard that in a while.
I feel like we need that on a fucking shirt or a sticker. We need that on a sticker.
Oh, hell yeah. My friend Dave was sitting across from me, and I looked at him, and he doesn't even say it. He just licks his teeth.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck, man. That's such a deep cut. He was like, it's Morbin time. And I was like, oh, that's such a deep cut for the show. If people don't know, God, I wish I could point you to an episode.
I was gonna say, I don't even know the episode.
Yeah, I don't even know the episode, but there's a very, very funny episode. It might be one that says like Two Sams or something like that. I don't remember.
It's early. That's all I can say.
It's an early one.
What do we think about the salt rating on this one?
It's low salt to me. I mean, like, there's a little bit of salt that like the universe didn't honor the birthday luck. Like it didn't follow the way it would have been nice with like a little bow on it, but it's still cool. It's still like someone opening a great card. Always kind of hyped for that.
Yeah,
I think this is like a teaspoon of salt, but it's a mounded teaspoon of salt. You guys ever see that when you're like baking, where it's like, ooh, do a mounded teaspoon, a mounded tablespoon?
No.
Basically what you don't like flatten off the top of the teaspoon or the tablespoon.
I understand the concept.
Seems like an imprecise measurement.
It is imprecise, yeah.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think the amount of salt here is imprecise to the actual issue at hand. It's a little too salty. I mean, maybe Dick has this track record, but dude just pulled a good card. It was all fair. He gave friend one enough chances to snag something.
Better luck next birthday, I guess.
Exactly. Just happens.
Oh my God. Well,
Another one.
So this next one comes to us from our Gmail, and this one is from our old buddy Dash Hope 69.
hell yeah.
Nice.
I feel like we had to have Dash Hopes on this episode.
You can't not.
Yep. It's the correctly numbered app.
If people don't know Dash Hope 69, we've talked about this person in the past. Dash Hope 69 has followed us on Reddit for a very long time. They have an amazing Elish Norn banding deck that is really crazy. They are like a huge proponent of mass land destruction and stuff like that. Got a lot of hot takes when it comes to the format.
Spicy takes.
So this post is titled, "Hey, it's Dash Hope 69."
Good title. Okay.
Nice.
And it goes, "Hey guys, I've quit Reddit, so I'm emailing you."
like it's a drug, because it basically is, but
Yeah, this is when like the weird thing was happening where Reddit was like forcing out all the third-party apps. So and it continues. "Let me get your opinions on some things." Guys, ready? These are going to be a lot of hot takes from
I'm
our
ready.
buddy Dash
I'm
Hope
going to
69.
prepare my opinions for them.
Hang on, are we doing the opinions as we go?
I'm just going to rip through the whole thing. "I don't like any card printed after about 2008 or so. It's all soulless Photoshop garbage now. I don't play any cards originally printed in Commander products because they go against the spirit of the format." The spirit of the format.
Yeah. You need like the great insert the great amen there. Like,
Format.
God, it's bringing back to Catholic school. Like, I remember this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dark times.
Rather than be creative and play quirky pet cards, you just play Guide to Fairies Protection or Fierce Guardianship. Furthermore, the way I build decks means that I optimize them, and that means playing staples to subsidize a theme. If I played Commander product cards, that would double the amount of auto-include staples in my decks and essentially eliminate the deck slots currently occupied by cards like Burnout, Sunscour, Pursuit of Knowledge, Nether Void, and Shred Memory. The Celestis and the Order of the Sacred Torch, cards like those would be replaced by a Jeweled Lotus in every deck or whatever. It's one thing to cut basic land for Ancient Tomb and Urza's Saga and Mana Crypt. It's another to cut the actual meat of your deck for asked for pushed cards printed directly into the format. Cards like Rhystic Study and Soul Ring are good in Commander, but it's organic. They just happen to be good. They weren't pushed specifically for that purpose. And then there's a little asterisk here. Rhystic Study is merely okay when playing against intelligent people that pay the tax. I've never seen another person's deck that I liked. Much of the problem stems from everyone's decks being new cards or not having a theme and just being piles of cards. The theme decks I do run into are Ur-Drag and Miram. There are 10 people that play this deck in my LGS. Or Go Shintai Shrines. Only like half a dozen people have that one built. I would argue that those aren't even truly themed decks because people only play them because they're nakedly powerful. I stay respectful while I'm playing games, but when people ask for my opinion on cards, the answer is almost universally that I do not think it's cool. An especially bad problem I have is when everyone else's commander is originally from a Commander product. They're all in 3 colors, chosen at random. They all have similar names, chosen by a random name generator with some bullshit, overdone title from original Kamigawa. I'm playing Ala Nyala, the Bringer of Death. They all have 3 creature types chosen at random. They're all self-sucking value engines with novels of text on them and some annoying 2/4 Death Touch stat line. They're all dark printed foils with CGI art. They've all curled into convex cylinders. Whenever I read one, I immediately forget what it does after I set it back on the table, and after a while, I just give up and hope it's not relevant. Isn't it so salty?
That's a lot of takes.
I was gonna say it's also so many takes.
Yeah, it's a lot of takes. I think you can sum up the take that Dash Hope 69 just doesn't like the modern meta, like the casual meta. We talk a lot about like the CDH meta. But there is like a casual meta of deck building, something that like involves like 3-mana rocks are irrelevant. Got to play 2-mana rocks. Certain cards are very powerful. Certain cards are auto-include staples. Like there really is a casual meta. And I think that has moved in a direction that Dash Hope 69 does not appreciate.
Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, there's this idea of like this deck building decision to not include any of those cards because it would start eating into like the meat of the deck. And I feel like you're just making that decision at like the overall level. Other people just make that decision on like a card by card basis, like you could let yourself play commander product cards and then just not put Jeweled Lotus in a deck, to the like, oh, I'm building things optimized point. You're building your decks optimized to this, like your own format a little bit.
Yeah. And
it's kind of close to like pre-DH, right?
I was going to say that too.
Isn't this basically what Dash Hope 69 is describing here?
Yeah, it's pretty much pre-DH. If people don't know what pre-DH is, it is playing EDH, but only using cards that were printed before Commander products were printed. I think it is pretty much everything before 2008, which is kind of the date that Dash Hopes threw out.
Yeah. And there is something to say too about like 08, like that era, like the art that Magic started using did kind of start changing. In some ways, things got like even more varied because they started introducing like secret layers and like all these different art treatments and stuff. And there were then like these themes of, okay, there's this whole suite of cards with this art style, which is really cool. At least I think so. But there's like, if you look at an old Magic card and a new one, if you looked at the art in isolation without the frame or the border or anything, I think a lot of people that have played a decent amount of Magic could pin, okay, that's an old card. This is a new card. Like there's definitely been a shift in style over time. And I mean, aesthetics, like you're going to have preferences between people that are different. So like, yeah.
Modalists, you're saying?
No one said that.
No one said that word. You all right?
Yeah, I think when it comes to card art, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like I fully think that people who don't like modern art on cards, because it is a lot of digital art and those techniques are being used with a lot of modern cards. I think that's valid, but at the same time, I think there are a ton of beautiful cards that get painted and printed. And a lot of the artists out there are still using very traditional means to make that card art.
Mm-hmm. We can put this to rest, too, by saying I think we can all agree that the Mystical Archives Faithless Looting is the best Magic card art that's ever been printed. And we can just kind of move on from the art piece of this.
Dude, one of my friends went to Mass Art, which is an art school in Massachusetts, and the artist that made that Faithless Looting art, they were friends in college. I was talking to him and he was like, we were talking about Magic. He's like, I don't play, but my friend is like very involved in some drama right now. And it was the Faithless Looting shit. I was like, oh, that's wild.
I legitimately think that art is hilarious.
I think it's pretty dope.
It's great.
To me, I understand wanting to have self-imposed deck restrictions.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
There's a Play to Win podcast episode where they talk about like playing casual and how they play casual. And Dylan has a very similar view where he doesn't play anything that was printed specifically for Commander. So he doesn't play like Deflecting Swat, or he doesn't play Fierce Guardianship. He doesn't want to play any cards that say the word Commander on the card. He'll play something that's printed in a Commander product, I think, if I'm remembering it right. But he won't play anything that specifically says Commander, because he's kind of like, those are the cards that WotC wants me to play in Commander. And he plays them in CDH. So kind of like something we talk about a lot, which is leave your CDH stuff in CDH and leave your casual stuff in casual. And he has just like a firmer line where that appears. So I think that's like a valid thing too. If you want to have that self-imposed deck building restriction, that's fine. I think those cards are totally fine to play in Commander. I think things like Fierce Guardianship and stuff like that does start to get a little corner case just with like deck power levels. Like I started cutting some of that stuff out of what I want to be my like mid power casual decks, because I was talking with you guys and you were like, oh, that deck's really consistent. It's really powerful. And I was like, what makes it that? And I was like, oh, I got a couple tutors in there. I got a couple like free interaction. If I just cut those out, is the deck really that much worse? Probably not. But if someone flips through the deck and sees like Demonic Tutor, Fierce Guardianship, and a couple other powerful staples, they might kind of have a moment where they're sort of like, okay, this deck seems like it is a specific power level that may not be what Sam said. those cards we've talked about them before. They can kind of be like signposts for power levels.
Yeah, but also fuck blue.
There is this interesting element. Fuck blue.
I mean, deck where you're running fucking Fierce Guardianship. I'm just like, fuck that shit.
You not running Deflecting Swan in any of your casual decks?
No, Deflecting Swat's chill.
Get out of here. Get out of here, dude.
Oh, yeah. There is an interesting element to the attitude in this of like, I don't like anybody else's decks.
Yeah.
It's pretty extreme.
I think that's very extreme. Dash Hopes, I love you. I love your vibe. I enjoy your hot takes. This is some extreme shit.
It's pretty extreme. And to be fair, Dash Hopes may just live in a place where like everyone's not playing extremely creative stuff in their LGS.
It sounds like that. 10 Dragon Miram decks. I fucking hate Miram. I think I've talked about that. I would go insane playing against that.
I'd go nuts playing against that all the time.
Go
Or
Shintai
same with
Shrines.
like, yeah. So, maybe you just kind of need to find some of the brewers that are doing other things that are like interesting and creative in your mind, or force people into it by doing a deck building challenge with some friends.
Yeah, definitely.
People will play the stuff that is good that they're able to play. If you're playing against all decks that you think are dumb or boring, that's like 3/4 of the cards that you're seeing. So it's gonna make things old pretty quick.
Yeah, I feel like I would get pretty burnt out with this attitude playing at like just an LGS,
Yeah,
because people are going to play the cards that are printed into Commander products. Like new players, generally speaking, are purchasing a Commander product and getting into the game. People aren't organically getting into it like they were in 2008,
Right. It's not so much a format that Magic players are discovering. It's a way that people are discovering Magic. So just the on-ramp is very different.
Yeah. And things just have gotten more powerful over time. Like, I don't think it's a hot take to say that the format is getting pushed more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Wizards has acknowledged that Commander is the most popular format. So they're printing spice directly into the decks, directly into the format. And there's a lot of considerations for Commander when they're designing products for Standard, even products for like Modern and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like a lot of those have a nod towards Commander because they know that Commander players are going to be picking up that shit. So I think like this type of mentality is fine to have as your own personal deck building restriction, because a lot of people like that and a lot of people want to build in a vacuum and give themselves a challenge. It's not like Dash Hope 69 is saying this, but it's another thing to like press that upon other people and be like, you guys have to build like how I build or else you're not valid. There's a little bit of that here, but I don't think Dash Hopes is like proselytizing to people and trying to get them to convert.
I mean, it's just hard when the things that are like so Commander specific are like really fucking good usually. Like,
Yeah.
There's a reason like they're in a lot of the decks. It's because they're really fucking good. Like, any card that says if you control your commander, do X, like obviously you want it. And then if it does do that for free, if you have your commander, like why wouldn't you run that shit?
Exactly.
So
also like hard. We've talked about this before, but it's been a while.
It's been a while
since I could. EDH Rec and other services like that.
Sorry, I just love that like that happened and then like no comment or anything, not even a giggle from anybody, just like happened seamlessly into like the next thought.
It's a part of it. It's just established lore at this point.
Yeah.
It matters a great deal, Tony.
It matters a great deal.
But things like EDH Rec, other Commander websites, even the fact that like content creators exist and have like a decent platform, there's a homogenization of like deck building styles with those things that exist,
Mm-hmm.
Dictionary word for the day there.
If you're a new player and you go on EDH Rec and you want to be like, hey, what does Miram do? You're going to find the best 100 Miram cards on EDH Rec. And it's the average of all the decks, like it's giving you averages.
Yeah.
And even just creators like Command Zone being like, hey, don't play 3 CMC Mana Rocks anymore. And now everyone's like, yeah, those suck. And they do.
I love that. And they do.
Yeah, also they do suck.
They've printed so many that aren't, that it's like, all right, well, why would I run a 3 mana rock when I can just run a 2 mana rock?
I want to ramp a turn earlier.
And now, because of that, the 3 mana rocks that are getting printed do have a little bit of interesting gravy on top of them. So now they're worth considering again to some
extent. That gravy is
spicy.
That's a
for sure.
gravy.
There is some interesting things I saw recently printed where I was like, oh, but you do all these other things too?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 3 CMC mana rocks are getting hot, and I am here for it. I dig it.
Yeah. There is something here that I want to call out. Like, I've been playing or talking about Magic a lot more with my brother-in-law, who's like, a dad with like no time and a job and everything, and like
kind of getting back into it, right?
And just kind of getting back into it, and like, knows the rules but doesn't have like an insane amount of time to spend brewing. And mostly what he's interested in doing is being able to sit down and play a game. I think people often kind of get grumpy with people that are building these things based off of recommendations, based off of what kind of like the established way to build a deck is.
Yeah.
But like, if what you're into is the playing of the game and you don't really care quite as much about the deck building aspect, that's a great way to do it. And that's a totally valid, reasonable way to approach the game too. So like this is a very gatekeepy, like you have to know which cards are commander printed, know which are not commander printed, know which ones are from '08, know which ones are not, only put those in, but Ancient Tomb's okay, I guess. Like you were saying, Sam, you couldn't really force this on someone else.
I didn't think of that. Like, I feel like that must be hard. Like when I guess...
Dude, Scryfall makes it so easy.
Well, no, I was gonna say you just use Google and you'll be fine. Like, a good Google search will get you there.
Yeah, just Google Magic Card not commander set before 2008, and then go to image search.
Yeah, that's where you want to do it.
You're gonna see so many cards, dude. So many cards.
Man.
Yeah.
What do we think about the salt rating here?
Yo, Dash hopes you salty.
Yeah, you're cranky guy. I hope you're enjoying the games at least.
Yeah, not really salty. Yeah, you're cranky. You're a cranky old man. I love it. Like, I appreciate it, and I appreciate your hot takes. I will just echo one more time what Mike was saying. I think that like Magic players get joy from different things, and at different points in your Magic playing career, do you find joy in different spaces? So, like you're saying, Mike, in your early game of Magic, the joy might just be in playing the game. You don't really want to take the time to tinker with a deck. You may not even understand the game well enough to tinker with a deck. It's like a precon full of like straight to commander product printed shit is a godsend, because you could purchase it and pick it up and immediately play it. Down the road, you may find that your joy comes from deck building. And I think we've all been in periods with our Magic playing careers where we were deck building way more than we were playing, like so much more than we were playing.
Yeah.
And finding so much joy there. And now I feel like we've all kind of got to this point where
I don't know if I was ever really there.
Say, Tony never went.
Yeah, Tony. But I feel like now we're kind of getting back into a space where it's like, I just want to play more versus deck building more, or I want to like tinker with a single deck. And I'm really in my like tinker phase now where I'm like, ooh, I made 2 card swaps. Hell yeah. Like, this is great. So
I don't know that I've tinkered with a deck ever.
You're a noob.
Although I'm about to. I'm tinkering with Rafine, which I've never done.
You should start to tinker those cards right in the trash.
Yeah, you're tinkering with Selvala, right?
Yeah, you changing Selvala with our cool recommendations that we gave you, Tony.
Some of that shit was so ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
And some of it was also really good.
As I was listening to you play, I was like, you know what? I have learned how to play Selvala, and these guys don't know what they're doing with some of the things. There's like reasonable stuff in there for sure, but there were some things that I was like, what the fuck is this suggestion?
There were some things that I said out loud, and then like literally while we were recording and thought about it more, I was like, that probably isn't right, is it?
Yeah. I also had those. We're referring to a extra salt episode.
Before we get too far from it, do you guys want to know what the first card that comes up when you search Magic card not commander set before 2008 is?
In Google Images?
Google Images?
In Google
100%.
Images. Yeah. It's called Say Less. It's X2, a Phyrexian green mana, a Phyrexian black mana, a black mana, and a red mana for a legendary enchantment artifact land creature human elf. And the text on it is creature cards you own gain landfall until the end of the next game. If you would exile an emblem, it triggers an additional time. And it's a 1/1.
This is the kind of Magic meta that Dash Hope 69 wants. Just kidding you, bud.
Dude,
That's fucking great shit, man. Oh my god.
It is good.
Should we hit another?
Yeah, let's fucking
one
do
last
it.
one.
This next one comes to us from our website. Was one of our first website submissions.
Ooh, love that.
Ooh.
And it comes to us from our buddy Pat.
Right. I saw this come in.
It comes to us from Pat. And the post title is Story Through the New Website. What?
I like that Tony is visibly upset already.
Yeah, he's
that
so
we're
mad
to talk about it. Pat post.
And the story goes, long story short, me and my roommate played a Commander Masters draft event. I draft a Simic Big Boys list and win round 1. At the start of round 2, someone in the pod next to me says, hey, are we doing house rules for commander damage? Almost in perfect unison, the whole store erupts in a chorus of, huh? We all assure him there is no such rule for this event or even for this store. Deflated, the person who asked the question revealed that someone in his pod 1 said if a commander is a 3/3 and buffed to a 13/13, you can still attack for 13 damage, but only 3 is commander damage.
Oh my god.
This person made up this rule, collected their prize pack, and seemed to immediately dip from the store. Talk about ninjutsu. Thanks, Pat.
Wow. Ugh.
I feel bad laughing, but it's so fucking funny, man.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, what a speech play just to be like, actually, we're playing with different rules today. And someone's just like, oh, yeah, okay.
But like nobody else at the table said anything.
People must just not have known.
Right? Like, that's the thing is
It's
like,
one thing to have one person at the table doesn't know, but you had fucking
It is
3
different.
other people at the table that didn't know that there
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
a house rule of 13 3/3.
So the thing about that does make a little bit of sense to me is that commander players generally, I think, are very far from limited players. And this is a commander limited event, which there's been more of recently, but like, I feel like sometimes you do get people like showing up to play draft that have never played a draft before because they like commander, and like limited players aren't necessarily going to the commander drafts.
yeah,
So
that's
there's
true.
like this ounce of like, maybe that makes sense, but still, that's not how commander damage
Yeah.
works. It's just not it.
Interesting.
It's just so funny, dude. And the fact that they just won 1 round, got their packs, and were like, I'm out of here. Like, they were like,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to win 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
They use their trump card.
In D&D, you can cast Charm Person on someone, and after the spell wears off, they know you cast Charm Person on them,
Mm.
and they get like really hostile. It's like exactly that. Like, it's good
Yeah.
for 1 encounter, and then you have to leave.
Yeah.
You have to get
Then
away
you
from
can't
there
be there
because the town
anymore.
guard is coming
Yeah.
after you.
Wow.
Yeah, so funny. Have you guys ever encountered somebody trying to like bamboozle you with house rules?
I've been bamboozled by event rules. Like when we went to Commander Sealed, that's on me, but I didn't totally understand how the mechanics of the end of the game were going to work.
Same.
And then they hit, and I was like, oh, really? This is the house rule here, basically.
Yep. Big
So
same.
I feel like I've had that encounter. And I've had people that truly don't know the rules before that I've had to be like, no, that is not how that works. Like, but I think even in those cases, they were doing it in good faith, not trying to like pull a sneaky on me.
I was
Yeah.
bamboozled by Magic Fest 30 when they're like, you want to do plane chase?
You mean chase the planes, Tony?
I think that's the most bamboozled I've been.
I think most of my like rule bamboozling was very early in my Magic career.
You have bamboozled me.
Well, the thing is, like, when you don't know a rule, if you just say what your interpretation is very charismatically and confidently, sometimes people just believe you, you know?
That's what happened here.
Yeah, that's definitely like what happened here. I mean, I know I've gotten some shit wrong, and I remember when I first started playing, I think I was playing with people who were still putting damage on the stack. So they were like sacrificing blockers. I just remember it being weird where they were like, oh no, like I can sack it. And then I'll also sack it a second time. It was like a spell bomb, and they were sacking a spell bomb like 2 times to like both abilities to draw a card and like bounce a creature or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, makes sense to me. Like I sack it, and then in response, I sack it again. You're like, yeah.
We love that move. That one's really good with carrion feeder also.
Yeah.
I have a 1/1 and a carrion feeder, so my carrion feeder is now an infinite.
Yeah, all the sacks go on the stack. Oh man. Yeah.
It's good.
I do feel bad for this player though. That's like such a feel bad to know that you just got absolutely bamboozled.
Yeah, you got worked. Especially too, because like often I feel like something like this goes where you're about to then use that rule in your favor, and then someone is like, okay, that's actually not how it works. And that's the worst feeling. It's like, okay, I was beat by this thing that seemed bullshit, and now I try to apply it, and now I'm told it's not real, and I was duped before. It's
they didn't even get told they weren't real. Somebody was like, fucking idiot. Like,
you doofus.
I feel like commander damage in general is kind of a weird thing.
It's poorly understood.
Yeah. Like every week there's a post on Reddit about somebody being like, I'm dealing damage. Is it commander damage? It's like, no, it has to be combat damage. And, you know, there are some like requirements there. I think it's a weird thing. And I've definitely seen people like build decks around like burn damage and be like, hell yeah, that's going to be 21 commander damage. And you're like, nah, it's not actually.
It's just 21 damage.
Yeah.
Still 21 damage.
Still pretty good, but it is not commander damage. I apologize. Hate to be the bearer of bad news.
What, is it that time of the week?
Excuse me? You have to ask us the salt rating, bitch.
Do I? I was like, do we need it on this one?
You always just assume you always have to ask.
It's in your contract, Tony.
Shut up, Mike. You tried to steal it from me. You can't say anything. Only
Mike, do you want to say it? Do you want to ask?
Well, if you miss your cue,
no.
then like someone's got to do it.
I'm prepping.
If you get married and go on your honeymoon for 2 weeks, like someone's got to do it.
Mike, can you just ask me what the salt rating is?
What do we think about the salt rating here on this one?
So, Sam, what do we think about the salt rating
shut the
on this
fuck
one?
up. Don't put
Thanks,
that in there.
Mike. Thanks.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I think this is high salt. The moment when it's medium, but the moment for this player when whole store looks at you and goes, huh? Like, I can feel the blood rushing into my head as I have a panicked moment of realization that I've just asked something ridiculous and have been duped. Like I can physically feel it.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like the fact that you're just asking, you're like, hey, are we all using this crazy rule? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you're like, oh shit.
It's like if you don't already have a little bit of social anxiety, there it is for you.
Yeah, exactly. It is peaking at that point. Yeah, I agree. I think if I was Pat in this situation, you know, I would be like, man, that sucks. I'd have a little chuckle. But if I was the person in that situation, I would also leave. I would be like, I'm done. I played my one game and became a fool publicly. I think I'll just bounce.
I think I'm out now, actually. Well, is that time of the fucking week?
Ooh, Tony, how I've wished for you to say those words when you're supposed to say them.
Hell yeah, baby. But what time is it?
It's that time of the week that comes every week.
Every fucking week, baby.
It's the time of the week where we say, Mike.
Mike.
What's the salty card of the week?
I got my first real pre-con. Bought it at my LGS. Shuffled till my fingers bled. It was my favorite live game deck. Sitting around the LGS. This game is gonna last forever. And if you attack my face, I'll heal and I will recover. It was my favorite life game deck. And my life total was 69.
Nice.
Oh yeah. And my life total was 69. Oh yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Sam, for that perfect 69th salty song of the week.
You're welcome.
I guess we maybe missed some, but the salty song on the 69th episode.
Yeah. I don't think we did them in the early episodes, but I was like, what songs say 69? And I was like, oh, this one, the one that talks about a specific year.
Yeah.
The salty card of the week, though, this
Ooh.
week is Craterhoof Behemoth.
Oh, shit.
It is 5 and 3 green for a creature beast with haste. When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. That's a 5/5.
Yep.
So, what do you guys think? Would this make you salty?
You can't just fucking ask both of us. You have to pick
Yeah,
one
I
of
did.
us. What a bunch of bullshit.
It happened. I want you to
guys.
fight. I want you to fight over my affection here. Come on, let's see it.
I can go
Tony.
first, Mike.
Okay,
You can
well,
go.
yeah.
Yes,
That's what I'm
this is
fucking
more like
talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
it. Tony, you've been gone long enough. Why don't you tell us what you think?
It's like one of those typical win cons. It feels like boring.
Hmm.
I feel like that's what I don't like about this card. It doesn't make me like particularly salty, but when it happens, I'm always like, okay. Guess we're just dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like Nick has played it and been like, oh no, it's not over yet. And I'm like, no, dude, you just played fucking Craterhoof. Like, it's over.
And
Like,
it better be over.
Yeah.
Or else you played it wrong.
like straight up. I feel like everybody knows this card. Everybody sees it come down, and everybody knows that if it's getting played, the game's over. And if it's not over and they just played like a quote value Craterhoof, then it's usually a meme and funny. And I'm like, okay. You can either play Craterhoof when you're going to win, or you can play it when you have no other creatures.
Yeah.
So you just play a Craterhoof.
And you need a blocker.
Yeah. And I'm like,
8 mana,
okay.
5/5.
Those are the only
good.
scenarios you can have.
Sam, what do you think?
I feel the same way. I really think Craterhoof is boring. It is one of those tried and true win cons. You know, it appears in most green go wide decks, but I think it gets salt because people are kind of sick of seeing it. And it's sort of like expropriate, or in that same echelon of win cons where it's just like, oh, what a surprise. The green deck cast a Craterhoof Behemoth, and that's how you're going to win. It's kind of funny to me. I think of it a lot in the context of instant win cards like Thassa's Oracle, for example. Obviously, Craterhoof is way, way, way more expensive.
Yeah,
But-
it requires a lot more setup.
Yeah, but like it's still a card that says you play this and you generally win the game, you know?
Yeah.
And I think people just dislike how boring and linear that is, where it's like, I grow my board, I tutor Craterhoof, I play the Craterhoof.
Mhm.
And I don't think people enjoy that type of play style. And I don't really either. Like, it doesn't make me super salty. I think if someone plays a Craterhoof, I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm kind of expecting it in some decks, but I think like the masses generally out there, like your average casual EDH player, isn't going to have a lot of love for Craterhoof just because it's a pretty straightforward win con. I will say I have never, ever cast a Craterhoof.
Same.
Yeah, I don't own one. So
I don't own one
cannot
either.
have cast one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double same.
I do agree with you, though. I think the frustrating pieces of it is it often feels like tutor Craterhoof and play it.
Yeah.
If you're a deck that wants to win by casting Craterhoof, you usually like need to go and get a Craterhoof to cast to try and win. Like that's often kind of the main or only win con in the deck, other than just like getting some beats in. I think the other thing about Craterhoof that's maybe frustrating is I feel like it can slip into lower
Your DMs?
It can slide into your DMs.
Your butt crack?
Yeah, that too.
69.
Nice.
Can you imagine
Nice.
69ing a Craterhoof?
Oh my God. I can't.
What I was gonna say is I think it can I think it can fit into smaller oh, Jesus.
Oh,
I
Mike,
think it
be
can-
careful.
I
Be
think it
careful
can-
here.
I think it can fit into more casual pods
Oh,
and like
can it?
sneak into more casual pods than a lot of these other like big win conny cards can.
Yeah.
We've talked about this effect a little bit before, but people aren't going to be as upset by a Craterhoof as they are like a Force of Will, you know. But it is
Yeah.
still a very game-ending, powerful, crazy good card, right?
It's still a crazy broken effect. It's just for some reason people don't get as salty over broken effects that influence combat damage versus broken effects that influence like other facets of the game. like a shit ton of card draw or a bunch of countering or like control. It's actually a hot take from Dash Hope 69, an old one that he sent to me on Reddit, which was that like generally like the green deck is doing the most broken shit by ramping out a fuck ton of land and casting these big giant massive creatures that wreck the board. And like I think it was one of his arguments for mass land destruction to keep that in check. But
yeah. Well, thanks for telling me how you guys feel about it. Do you want to move on to the next section of the salty card here?
How do you feel about it, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, you already said. You already said without being asked.
Yeah, I jumped the gun, if you will. So where do you guys think this lies in the top 100 salty cards?
Is this still the old list?
It's still the old list. I think next episode we'll probably need to do kind of a transition.
We'll look forward to that, folks. Next episode.
Ooh, episode 71.
Auspicious. I'm gonna guess. I think it is 69.
Oh shit.
Nice guess.
That's fucking right. On theme, baby.
Tony, what do you think?
43.
Do you want to try that again, Tony?
No,
No.
you can't do that. He said 43.
It is card 69.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Right on the money, Sam.
I didn't think it would be that on the nose. I didn't think you'd actually put the
Fucking
literal
go,
69.
man.
You don't think like 50 cards ago I almost read Craterhoof and was like, wait a second.
Oh,
I need to
man.
save this.
Dude, it's all skill, baby. Tony's rusty. He's been away from the game for too long.
Well, thanks for playing, guys.
Kid literally gets one fucking card and then he's like,
It hasn't been one. It's been a lot.
hey, it's been a while.
I really want some prospector to do the
a tally
numbers on who won.
And who's won and who's lost.
Yeah.
I don't even remember which episode we started doing that. Like, when
No.
did we start guessing? I don't even know.
I don't remember either. What?
Well, somebody in the 30% probably knows. Let us know.
We really need a wiki for the show so we can reference shit.
We do.
Because it's been going on long enough now where I like forget if I've told the story.
Most famous quotes. It's Morbin time and
Nick's teeth.
3 unfunny guys telling Reddit posts or whatever.
Oh,
Well,
man.
That wraps it up for the salty card of the week. So.
Well, thanks, Mike. That was a lovely salty card. And
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
you to our prospectors out there for tuning into another episode
We're
of the
turning
Howling
it up for the
Saltman
69th
Podcast.
episode.
For turning it up and for tuning in and tuning out for the 69th episode of the Howling Salt Mine Podcast. If you want more Howling Salt Mine, check out our Patreon. I think I can announce it now, but we've got new Patreon tiers coming. They may already be out. I don't fucking know. Time's an illusion. Did I get it done over the weekend?
An illusion.
Did I not get it done over the weekend? Who knows? But there are new Patreon tiers coming, and there's probably going to be an announcement in the main feed about that. So either keep an eye out or you have already kept an eye out. Patreon.com/Howling Salt Mine. Check it out. We have our extra salt series, once a month, extra episodes. We also have our stray grains, all the tangents from our show that don't make it into the final cut get put there for the prospectors to listen to. We have a big backlog for both of those. So definitely check it out if you have already made it through the show, you want more Howling Salt Mine, and check out our Discord. We have a great Patreon Discord. We have such an awesome community of people there. It's a ton of fun hanging out with them. We're chatting about spoilers. We're talking about spicy cards, talking about casual decks, talking about CDH strategies. People are posting their deck lists up there. It is great.
We talk about sports.
No, we don't. We talk about food.
We do talk about food. I post a lot about
delicious
food.
There is a sports channel, but it's a fucking ghost town, I think. I don't even look in there.
I think the Canucks are doing well.
Who knows? It's like you just spoke a different language for a minute. So come check it out. If you want more Howling Salt Mine content, there is a plethora of content to have. If you want to support the podcast in a different way, we also have merchandise. We have Dragon Shield sleeves, custom Dragon Shield sleeves with the Howling Salt Mine logo on them. The sleeves are beautiful. I've been playing them on my Marath deck for a long time. I've been playing them on my Roger Ardennes deck for a long time. And all the spare sleeves that I get out of the pack, I've been sleeving up my commanders in those so I can still rep the logo and all that kind of shit whenever I play with any deck that I have. We also have our bonfire store where we have some awesome shirts, sweatshirts. It's fall. It's fall. It's getting chilly out there, folks.
Chilly.
Quite frankly, it's a little bit chilly. So don't you want to cover up your arms and your sleeveys and your body with a lovely Howling Saltmine logo?
It's more than chilly in fucking Michigan. It's fucking cold. Like
Frosty.
You have to buy 2 or 3 and layer up, baby. We have some new shirt designs out there. We are putting up our classic Howling Saltmine logo for the next 30 days, give or take. So check that shit out. A lot of people have been asking for that classic logo from the early days of the podcast. So if you want that on a shirt or a hoodie or a sweater or a crop top or whatever other clothing we have up on there.
Do we have thongs on there?
No thongs. But we do have jock straps.
Wait, did we actually?
No, we don't. We don't.
Oh my God. That's the kind of thing I have no idea if you guys would just secretly put up there.
We don't. We don't.
I have that little faith in the maintenance. Right now.
Oh, man.
Love that so incredibly much.
We also have some new shirt designs on there. In addition to our old logo, we have our Howling Wizard Salty Gang shirt that I drew that is up there. And we also have our Zetalpa 1-800-RU Flappin' shirt on there. People have been asking for that for a while. So finally it is up. Those ones aren't going to be on a time frame. Those are just up. But if you want to get that classic logo, jump on it now. Another thing you can do to help out the podcast is give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app of choice. And hell, I'll say it. Give us a 5-star review in your least favorite podcast app of choice.
Yeah.
And even the one that you just feel kind of okay about.
Just download all of them and review us in them.
But only if it's 5-star.
It really goes a long way to help us stick out in the algorithm. We've heard from people that they are actually finding us through Spotify recommendations and shit like that. It works, people. The system works. So that is all due to the help that the prospectors out there are giving us with these reviews. So we really appreciate every 5-star review that goes up there. And we just hope you guys continue to enjoy the podcast and continue to support us in those little ways that we have. If you have a salty story that you want talked about on a future episode, submit it on our website, thehowlingsaltmine.com or howlingsaltmine.com. We're inconsistent with the use of the. That's where you can find our sleeves. It's also where you can find some of our favorite episodes that we've posted up there, our amazing bios, and a place to submit your salty stories and your salty confessionals. You can also email it to us at our Gmail, thehowlingsaltmine@gmail.com, or just DM it to us on any social media. All roads lead to Rome when it comes to the Howling Salt Mine. And we are so organized, and it's just amazing. All of our interns are working really hard to make sure all that shit gets captured. Just kidding. It's Sam frantically doing an update every few weeks and trying to find all the stories everywhere. And lastly, we have to shout him out, our amazing podcast artist, J.D. Burnett. If you guys are ever in Asheville, North Carolina, hit him up for a tattoo. He's an awesome dude.
10,000 subscribers or bust.
I miss you saying that, Tony. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. All right, that's it. Number 69 in the bag. Next week is number 71. Time travel, baby. As always, stay salty. And don't forget to draw an additional card during your draw step.
It's the Howling Salt Mine. The Howling Salt Mine.
Yo,
There
bitch.
he is. It's Tony.
What up?
He's back. Oh man, I missed you, dude. I missed you so much.
Dude, I think I'm still drunk from the wedding and
From the wedding. Damn.
Oh my god. Classic fucking Michigan. My internet is unstable. Love that.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Everything proceeding according to plan.
Say as it should be.
It is 5 and 3 red for a creature.
Red?
What?
What? I've played it wrong so many times.
Oh my gosh!
I've actually
the color
never
pie.
resolved one.
This episode's a little bit
Nice.
more crass than others. I feel like it had
It's
to be. I feel like it had to
it's-
be.
Yeah. It was gonna be, and it was.
Mike's like, it was going to be.
It was going to be, and it was.
Yeah, and it was.
If someone opens our catalog and goes straight to this one, this is what they deserve. They deserve to get this episode.
I agree.